Hi guys, I'm Varun. I'm a Vfx Supervisor from India.
This has to be the right way.
Yesterday, Epic Games unveiled a tech demo revealing Unreal Engine 5. It was amazing. There are so many reasons why, and I don't think people appreciate it enough for what it's worth. And I'm going to break down these details so that we can all better appreciate what these guys have done.
Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions, we used the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in film.
Quixel library, they have assets meant for films that has been used in films like Jungle Book and Lion King, and they have optimized versions of these assets that can be used in games. My experience of working with high quality assets in movies is that we would basically have layers built on the sides, and we would hide all the layers that are not relevant to the work right now, and disable all the visually amazing stuff. We would have the bare essentials, and you are not going to work in a very fluid artistic manner. You are going to move your mouse and wait for a couple of seconds for your screen to react. This is making all the VFX softwares that you use for feature films look archaic.
There are over 1 billion triangles of source geometry in each frame that Nanite crunches down losslessly to around 20 million drawn triangles. What does that many triangles look like? This isn't noise. These are the triangles, each a different color. Most are so small that they look like noise. Nanite achieves detail down to the pixel, which means triangles are often the size of pixels.
Okay, so here a couple of numbers. One, they have 1 billion triangles in the scene, and they bring it down to 20 million triangles. This is a 1440p video, and a 1440p video has about 3.7 million pixels, and these guys have 20 million polygons. The general idea here for Nanite is you don't really need more details than what a single pixel can contain, because it is not going to be captured by the pixel. You only need pixel level detail. In a typical movie pipeline, you would have all these assets. You will have all those loaded into your RAM, and you will run the entire scene from your RAM, and you will have all the 1 billion polygons that mentioned here being calculated while you see a video feed, and that is not even a final rendered output. That is just a viewport. So 1 billion is an overkill. And then we have a question, in that case, why do we need 20 million polygons? Why not just have 3.7 million polygons? And the answer is, just like anti-aliasing, you need more samples per pixel to create a consistent result. Otherwise, you might have artifacts. You might have noise. Here they are taking about 5 samples per pixel, which is good enough to create a very good result.
Speaking of lighting, all of the lighting in this demo is completely dynamic, with the power of Lumen that even includes multi-bounce global illumination. No light maps, no baking here.
Multi-bounce global illumination. This is supposed to take 1 hour per frame. That is how long it takes to do movies. They are using the same assets in the movies, and it is global illumination that they have used, because clearly you can see the darkest parts of the caves still are very clearly visible.
Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce changes instantly. Okay, let's
When they move that light, man, you can see not just the light. Look at the parts in the darkness. See how those areas gets relit because of where these light fall, because the bounces also change. So this is some witchcraft that they have done.
We've made some great additions to our audio system as well. Convolution reverb allows us to measure reverberation characteristics of real spaces.
These guys are going to give the best audio experience in probably any form of media. I don't think even feature films have this kind of technology, where you can actually take sound sources and move it across the space, and it will simulate the direction and have different sound reverberation samples of the space.
This swarm of bats was created with our Niagara effects system. Particles in Niagara can now talk to one another and understand their environment like never before.
So, generally, there are two kinds of particles, where one particle does not talk to one another, but all the particles get information through the programming that you did. And there are another kind of particle where each of the particles gets information from the nearby particle and reacts accordingly. This is going to allow for a swarm of birds or flies or bats. Later down the line, this could also lead to realistic fluid simulations, because fluid particles actually have forces, exert forces on the nearby particles. So fire, the heat keeps moving and keeps pushing the other hot gas around, and the same goes with water. Water keep pushing the nearby water around. So to be able to do those simulations, you need this, and Niagara can do that.
The demo runs on our chaos physics system. Here we are using it to accurately simulate the rigid bodies of the falling rocks and the cloth of her scarf.
The cloth simulation has really gotten better. I'm looking for moments where the cloth actually penetrates the skin or the character, and it hasn't happened. Usually that happens a lot in the games.
Now that the environment is so complex, we've needed to greatly improve our animation systems to adapt.
And here they are actually showcasing inverse kinematics. So basically this is, I think, is a technology that has already been implemented in games like Assassin's Creed. Now it is going to be available for everyone. You don't say, okay, rotate the shoulders this much and rotate your bicep this much, rotate your forearm this much, and rotate your wrist this much. You don't do that. That is it. That is forward kinematics. Instead you say, oh, the hands has to go and grab the mouse. That's it. The rest of the body just follows. The feet needs to go and step on a certain feature in the rock, and the hands has to go and grab the certain features. You basically identify these features, so these hands can directly go there and the entire body will follow accordingly.
For the character to more realistically interact with the environment, we've added the ability to trigger seamless contextual animation events, like her hand on the door.
Looks promising.
So hand on the door, that is also just highlighting the inverse kinematics capability, and I think these are not new. They are new to Unreal Engine. These things have been achieved in Uncharted and Assassin's Creed already.
Dynamic illumination means specular as well, which you can see on all the metal surfaces. You can even see the Niagara-powered bugs reacting to the light. Lumen not only reacts to moving light sources, but also changes in geometry.
Okay, so this is a very clear example that they are not baking any of those lights. So if the assets and if the level is going to change, if it's going to modify, the lumen is going to relight the entire scene accordingly.
This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles.
This is as complicated as an asset like this can get, and they are pushing it further. They are having like 50 of these in the next room.
And we can do more than a single statue. There are nearly 500 of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room, for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone.
I wonder
Over this entire demo,
how will it
there are
scale?
hundreds
Will it be
of billions of
efficient
triangles.
when it comes to foliage? Trees, plants, grass, all that. Will it get the same kind of benefit? Because, or hair. Hair is another organic shade. What if people did water simulation and they brought in water particles through something like Alembic?
So with Nanite, you have limitless geometry, and with Lumen, you have fully dynamic lighting and global illumination, all running on a PlayStation 5.
still can't believe that this could be a gameplay. This is not a cinematic, that this could actually be a gameplay, and that is a possibility. It's unbelievable.
The portal, it's open. Don't fail me now.
No level of details, no LODs. All these objects are highest quality meshes that just seamlessly transitions between one level of detail to another level of detail based on how much detail is required for one pixel. So this character flew all the way just to showcase that there is no LOD used. So all these are constantly being uprest and low rest. The meshes are being dynamically changed. This means that there is a ton of changes in the workflow. No one has to worry about these LODs, no one has to worry about light baking, which is, when working with game engines, the thing that I hate the most is light baking, because it takes a lot of time. It takes like a couple of days sometimes. Bakers, even a simple scene. All that is gone now, which is amazing. All you need to do is just iterate on how to get your scenes better, how to make it look beautiful, how to get your games to play better, all that, and which is definitely going to show on the quality of the games. Sometimes maybe even the content. You might have more richly populated games. They might have meaningful stories. They will have time to do all that now. So how are they able to achieve this? One of the key technological breakthrough is solid state hard drives. In order to be able to accomplish this, your old hard drives that runs on disks, magnetic disks, won't cut it. You might have to install your games in a solid state drive, which is what PlayStation 5 is going to come with, and probably Xbox, and the next gen is going to be solid state. They are accomplishing this by taking data of these polygons directly from the mesh, from the hard drive, a little bit of buffer in the RAM, and then rendering it in your graphics card and putting it right on your screens. It's coming directly from your hard drive, which means the only restrictions you have in terms of how much you can push things is your hard drive capacity. So that is really a bottleneck, because already 100 GB is an average game size today. This would push it easily to 1 TB maybe. So I don't think they would use this fully for games. That is the bottleneck. It's not that it is not possible to do this with games. You can do this with games, but you will need a lot of hard drive space. Obviously, Lumen is going to work. It doesn't matter you have high quality asset or low quality asset. Lumen is going to be beautiful, and it is worth the next gen name, because it was not possible. I still don't know how it works. It's magic even now for me.